just went to start my video. You see that? It's a redback spider. Yep. So I don't think I'll be sitting there this morning. Might find somewhere else to sit, I think. Hi guys, and welcome back to At Home with Elisa. Today I wanted to give you an update on my garden, give you a garden tour. It is the second week of December, which is summer for us. Now just to bring you a little bit up to speed, because I have been absent from YouTube for a little bit, but I just want to bring you up to speed. So our weather has been absolutely crazy for the last, apart from 2 days ago, for the last 2.5 months I haven't had to water my garden, which is absolutely insane here. In springtime we usually have beautiful weather. We have had so much rain, it's not been funny. So we have had to the point where our water tanks here, we only have sort of rainwater collection, or water that we actually ship in. We have had our rainwater tanks have been overflowing on a weekly basis, which means I obviously haven't had to water my garden. I haven't spent a lot of time in the garden because it has been so wet. And then yesterday we just finished a 4-day heat wave where we had temperatures up into, I think we recorded 44 here. So some of the plants obviously got into a little bit of shock. We've got some burnt, we've had some casualties. The humidity was 60%, so it has been some crazy weather. We've had hailstorms, we've had high gusts of wind. Unfortunately, I've had a casualty in the garden, but I'll show you that shortly. But yes, it has been absolutely crazy weather here for the last 2 months or so. So there hasn't been a huge amount of progress in the garden apart from what nature has obviously put on for us. So some of the plants are looking a bit rough, some of them are looking absolutely fantastic, some have come up earlier, which I wouldn't expect. But let's have a look at the garden. So just an overview, because I know I have a lot of new people here. We have our chicken coop area, so we have our larger breed chickens, we have our bantam chickens. Then we come through to the established garden area, which is almost complete. This is 2 years old. We've only been at this property for about 2.5 years. And then there's a new garden extension up there, which is only about 2 months old. So this is the outside of the garden. We are on the lower slide. I think you can actually capture that on film, but we are on the lower slide of our property. So we had some flooding when we get heavy rains. So what we've done is we've added a berm, which really needs to be weed whacked. We have put in some fire logs as well, so we can stack our firewood. And then we put in raised garden beds at the very front, just in an effort to actually stop some of the flooding that goes into this property. Again, we shouldn't usually have that much heavy rain, but it is what it is. I have, at the front, I have Gardenia magnifica flowers, which are absolutely stunning. They should get about as high as the fence line and be nice and bushy and glossy green leaves. And then just at the very front here on either side, I'm yet to construct my arbor, but at either side there I have some beautiful Eden climbing roses, which are also known as Pierre de Ronsard. So just obviously a little bit of weeding that needs to be under control, and I need to finish painting some beds. But it's just me and I can only do what I can do. So let's go have a look inside. I love this welcoming view, obviously basket full of eggs, but I love this welcoming view to the garden. I've got a new umbrella up the back which provides me with some shade, and it's beautiful. And then you get over to the new area that has nothing in it, but let's have a look. So first, as you come into the garden, I have some Russell lupins, Ostromerium, and I have a whole heap of yarrow. So this is the peach skies yarrow, and I also have a yellow yarrow here as well. I found that yarrow is a bully, and it's definitely outcompeted all the lupins that I had in this garden. So I have been trying to work out where I can put it, and I think I've actually come up with a solution. So I think probably in autumn I'll be looking at removing this and planting it out with some more lupins or something else, because the yarrow is just such a bully. And going directly from that garden, which leads in, that's the fence into the chickens area, the gate, sorry. I have another garden which I'll get to, but I'll show you this one here. This is one of what I call the twin gardens. Oh, just hit the garden border. So I have both of these really large garden beds. They're about 2 meters by 3 meters, which is really, really large. They're a little bit too big to be manageable. Over that, I have a beautiful garden arbor, which is just a piece of concrete Rio mesh. I find that it's really, really strong, a lot stronger than other fencing structures, so it can support, at the moment I've got one choco vine here and another one on the other side, and it will be able to support that because it's so strong. This year I added in a plum tree, which actually has 3 different cultivars of plums on it. Looking forward to obviously learning how to care for a plum tree. It's put on so much growth already. But I have no shade in this garden, so I don't mind having a fruit tree in the middle of a garden bed. It's something that I'm sort of going to be repeating throughout. I have my garlic, which obviously is well past needing to be harvested. Like, ridiculously past needing to be harvested. And I also have onions over there, which are just the white onions. I need to harvest those as well. So when you harvest onions, you actually really, ideally, you would love to remove them from the ground and leave them laying on the ground beside the garden bed out in the sun for 2 days. But we just haven't had 2 dry days. So even when we've had the really, really hot weather, we have also had that followed by an afternoon storm. So I need to harvest them. I need to get them up. I think what I'm going to do is not necessarily leave them on the ground where they are in situ. I'm going to take them up to the house and see if I can dry them out there. But it's just the humidity. I was worried about mold setting in. So I'm going to have to take the plunge because I've been putting it off for way too long. But I've got some dahlias which have popped up already, which is fantastic. It's a little bit early for them, but I'm absolutely loving it. I have here some capsicum plants. Or I think they're called sweet peppers as well. That one's got a mark on it. But I have some capsicums, and I have overwintered these last year, so I've got a head start on those, which is lovely. Capsicums are one of the ones that I really, really want to get a grasp on growing really well. I'm only new to veggie growing, so I'm still learning a lot, but I think capsicums are one I'd really love to specialise in. I have another dahlia here, which is beautiful. I can't remember the name of that one. It's a pale pink colour. It's absolutely gorgeous. Have some volunteer violas which I will transplant because I don't have the heart to rip them out. And then on this side I have sort of similar, so I have a tree planted in the middle. Sorry about the sun. I have a nectarine tree planted in the middle. It's just the one variety of nectarine. My son loves nectarine, so that's why we've got those. I've got some brown onions, and I've also got some red onions, which obviously are well past needing to be harvested. I have this beautiful, beautiful dahlia, which is called cornflake. And look at the colour. Beautiful blush colour on that one. And then here, same plant. Look at the colours. We've got a party here on the weekend, so I'll be harvesting quite a few of these. I'm really looking forward to it. And look at my chocos. Now, chocos are also called chayote, I think it is pronounced in other countries. So if you're not familiar with what a choco is, a chayote. So it is going great, and I have another one planted just behind this dahlia. Have so much silver beet, it is not funny. And a little mini dahlia, which just pops up by itself every year. Now, I put my dahlias in this garden bed along with my gerbras, so I love gerbras. I have them in this garden bed because we have had some flooding problems here at this property. I know that they're safe in raised garden beds. So they are an investment, and I don't want to waste money if I can. So having them here obviously helps with that. I snapped this one yesterday, unfortunately. But isn't that, look at that. Just beautiful. So yes, dahlias in these beds, gerbras in these beds, fruit trees in the middle, and other vegetable crops. And I absolutely love the look of it. Loving it. All right, let's have a look behind me. I've got some roses. Take you back to the garden gate first of all. I love mint. It's probably my favourite herb. I did have some tulips in here that never came up, but a lot of this mint I'll be harvesting again for this weekend because it's going to set flower. So I don't want it really setting flower. I need to get in here and trim it. Again, it's just gone absolutely crazy with the weather that we've been having. And I've just spotted, you see this vine growing here? This is a cucumelon vine. So I had them here last year and I have noticed a few popping up. They obviously just self-seeded from last year. Cucumelons are beautiful. It looks like a little mini watermelon, but it tastes more like a sour cucumber. They're really interesting. They're yummy. They're really interesting. But along this garden bed here, now that I have my garden extension, it will continue the whole length of this area here. It will generally consist of roses, bearded iris, and the occasional sort of seeded plant, like I had ranunculus here recently. I do have some volunteers from last year that I've just let go because I haven't finished it anyway, so it doesn't need to be 100% in order. But I have some beautiful, beautiful bearded iris just here that have actually, most of them has already started flowering. I'll see if there's any that are actually in flower at the moment. Then I have this gorgeous colour of osteospermum, which is just beautiful. I mean, it's got morning dew on it at the moment, so it looks absolutely gorgeous. But absolutely love this one. I have here a standard rose, which is called an ebb tide. I'll see if I can find photos of some of the roses that I have. But it's a standard rose. It was a gift and it's lovely. It has been beaten about by the wind a little bit. I'm having trouble trying to stake it up, but it's gorgeous. I have a volunteer cucumber plant. I had cucumbers here last year, so I have quite a few cucumbers, and you can see here the powdery mildew. Now that's because we've been having ridiculous amounts of humidity. So we've been having the really, really hot days followed by the storms, and everything is just damp. To be honest, it's just damp. I do have some bulbs planted in this garden as well, however they've gone dormant. So I have things like jonquils, or paper daisies they're also called. I have daffodils as well, however it's just not the time of year for them. So that's alright, they're underneath. I have a beautiful, beautiful rose here called Novalis. It's a lavender colour. I'm trying to get it in the right lighting for you. But it's a beautiful lavender colour. And it's a floribunda rose, which basically means that it's rather big. So I planted it here, I transplanted it, it was only a foot high and it was all sticks. And this is how much, and I've already been cutting on this as well, this is how much it's grown. So I directly centered it because I wanted it to be the center of the arbor right there, because it is a feature. It's absolutely stunning. And by the time the gardenia is growing behind, it'll be a wall of green with a beautiful lavender rose in front of it. Then I just have some bachelor's button or cornflower, which is lovely. I have a bean, which has just popped up from last year. I have this rose, it's called a fairy rose, and it's got the tiniest little flowers, absolutely tiny flowers, but they come off in big sprays. So essentially you can cut the stem down low here and have a gorgeous spray, and it puts on multiple sprays. So I'm really looking forward to using that in arrangements. I have a self-seeded cosmos. They have done really, really well for themselves this year. And then I have my dead sweet pea tower. So I knew that these were dying off, and I was actually leaving them so that I could harvest the seeds. So these are the seed pods here. They come up just like a pea pod, so joined together. There's usually about 4 or 5 seeds inside, and then you can open them up and collect the seeds and harvest them and use them for next year. So I did leave it in there for quite a while because I was thinking that that would be great use for seed harvesting. However, obviously we had all that rain, and then we had that heat wave the other day, and yeah, I came out and this is the result. So there might be some seeds in that might be viable, but apart from that, the rest of them are done. So yeah, that didn't really work out, that plan. And then just over here, this is where it sort of, so this garden bed used to continue here, down there, down the roses. However, now because of the garden extension, I'm putting a pathway in here. This rose is right in the middle of the pathway. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. So it was a little bit too late in the season to be transplanting roses, just because you want to move them before they break dormancy in winter. These ones, I didn't get this garden until spring, so I was a little bit late. So I have a strange rose bush in the middle of the pathway currently, but once they go dormant in winter, I'll be able to transplant quite a few of the roses from this area here. Will actually go all the way along here. These pots here that you can see, they've got daffodil bulbs, jonquil bulbs, lots and lots of different bulbs that I had been holding on to, knowing that I was doing a garden extension, just not when I would be doing it. So that will be obviously an autumn project. I'll put all the bulbs in, and then in winter I'll be able to actually transplant the roses in there and get my garden beds established. So let's have a look into the new area. It is wild. I put down a lot of landscape fabric just because I wasn't sure where the pathways were going to go. And the reason I put it down is grass. So we have crazy grasses here, and I just wanted to try and save myself some work. Currently in this crazy mass of grass here, I actually have a Jap pumpkin, which is one that I grew last year. I have a watermelon vine that doesn't have any watermelons on it just yet. And I also have what's called a Big Max. So this is one of those sort of novelty pumpkins that you can grow. So this one's actually Maxine. I planted Max, but he died in the heat. So this is Maxine. I always plant two, Max and Maxine. So we'll see if we get a giant pumpkin. I would love to get a Big Max giant pumpkin. That's the official name of them. This one here is my watermelon vine. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm growing a watermelon. Ah, that's so exciting. So it's a sugar baby watermelon. Oh, that's so exciting. Sugar baby watermelon. So yay, the first time it's actually worked. And then over here I have butternut pumpkins. So it is a little bit of a crazy free-for-all in this area. I knew I kind of wanted to let it get a little bit wild and be a wild pumpkin patch. I wasn't expecting all the grass to be there. But it just finds its way. I really should have mulched it, same as I've mulched this area. I should have mulched that. So I'm still learning, but that's okay. The rest of the area here, I just had some logs that were cut down from a tree. I was going to put some pots on there. This here is actually a compost tumbler now. I don't use these ones because I find them really hard for me to aerate. So I've put it upside down. I'm going to treat it as a planter, but I'm just filling it with some green matter at the moment. So as I do my trimmings and my cuttings, I just put everything into that because I don't have a composting system in place yet. I put everything into that, and then I will end up topping it up with some really good potting soil and planting something out into that. Over here, so when this area was cleared, I had grand visions. It was going to be so beautiful, and I planted seeds and nothing come up, and I planted more seeds and nothing come up. I've got 2 sunflowers. I've got corn, which really won't pollinate well because there isn't enough corns in that little corn patch. Mind you, they were all planted, but they just haven't come up. So I've found out that the soil I planted into has very little nutrients. It's essentially sand. The reason it's sand is that we are built on a sandstone mountain, and some of the areas not far under the surface here are actually stone. So huge, big pieces of stone, which means raised beds will probably be what is required here to have a good growing area. I will be doing an in-ground garden bed just all the way along here. I'm thinking grapevines if I can extend my fencing up. I'm thinking grapevines, maybe grapes. So we'll see. I do know I want an in-ground garden bed going the whole way just to the end of that corn patch there. So we'll see. This whole area itself still needs to be designed. I obviously have the gate in, which provides great access for dumping a trailer load of soil. This big area just here will one day hopefully be the site of a garden studio. Just to let you know, it doesn't really show it, but it's about 5 meters by 5 meters. And hopefully one day I will be able to have a garden studio. But in the meantime, I have been trying to, I ran out of newspaper, but I've been trying to smother the weeds, put on some of that soil that I've had delivered, and then mulch it, just so that next year I can get a good planting in this area. Because again, I tried to put seeds in. I transplanted some self-sprouted cosmos. I haven't had great success over in this area, and I think it's the soil. So everything else is the same, so I think it's the soil. So I need to obviously look at improving this soil in order to get it looking nice for next year. So that's where the hard work's going in. Now over here I have a little seeding area. I've just pulled those cushions off because I did find that redback spider, so I need to take care of that. But we have a little seeding area here because it's the only area that gets shade. We have a protected she oak tree, which she's not a stunning tree, but we have endangered wildlife that use this tree. So it is protected on our property. We have quite a few up the back of the property, and they are absolutely a lot nicer specimens than this one. But this branch here, I actually get kookaburras sit on it most of the day, so it's beautiful for the wildlife. But underneath the tree, apart from the grass that has just sprouted, I have more osteospermum. So I have 3 colours that all complement each other. And I'm hoping that they will love it here. I can obviously weed, and they will just be a spread of those 3 colours. They get quite big, those bushes. They're low to the ground. They do get quite big, so they're about 1 foot high, probably by about 3 feet wide. And I'm hoping that they will absolutely colour that area with all colours that are blending. So it should look absolutely stunning, I think. So that is an overview of the garden extension. As I said, this area is only about 2.5 months old. I definitely haven't had the overwhelming success I was hoping for this year. This year I was really just hoping that I could put some seeds in the ground and things would take off. However, I wasn't aware of obviously the soil situation underneath and the stone situation underneath. I actually went to plant a rose and I couldn't dig the hole because it was actually rock. So next year going forward, my plan is to have some in-ground garden beds established and to also have a large garden tunnel. The raised beds will come after that, but I really need to work on a plan just so that things line up and it looks like it was part of the original garden, not just an extension to the garden, because I like things to line up, I like things symmetrical. So I have to come up with a plan, but it's just been busy in the growing season and I haven't had time to think about it, but I'm hashing some ideas out anyway. So there is the garden extension, and back to this main rose garden. I have a statue that's been with me since I was about 19, I think. Look at this rose. Isn't it just stunning? Oh, I love this one. The name of it is escaping me. I'll put it on the screen, but it is just, like, look at that colour. And then we have down here, we have the ebb tide rose. It's actually, they're blown out, so they look a little bit more pink. But this is actually a purple rose. And it's beautiful. I have bearded iris. I really love the bearded iris combination with the roses. Have a gorgeous Olivia Austin rose here. You wouldn't believe I actually ran around and did all the deadheading on the weekend, but they just keep coming. Here, look at this bearded iris. Just beautiful colour. And the rooster you can hear in the background is Eugene, and he's saying good morning. I do apologise, he's a bit loud. Moving along, I have a number of different roses. This one here is a blue moon rose. And it's gorgeous. I do like the lavender colours, can you tell? I have another bearded iris which is going to open, so that's obviously its first flush. This will be its second. and just some beautiful, beautiful roses. I put another yarrow plant here to be moved. It's just too much of a bully. This one here is called a fragrant plum, and it is lovely. Oh, look at this one. So this one was actually a strange thing. We pulled this out of my friend's garden probably about 15-20 years ago. It was white. When we moved here, it's definitely the same plant, I can tell because of the structure of it, and it's now a pale pink. So absolutely beautiful though. And last rose to look at is this one here. This is an RSL rose, so for Return Servicemen's League, and love it. Look at that, gorgeous. So that over there is the corn area, which you've seen. I have some self-sown cosmos. This area here is, getting my shadow out of the way. This area here is currently under construction. I have had the gravel here for a while, but I didn't have any weed matting, so I actually ran out of pegs, but I need to use that weed matting, put that down there, and then all these plants used to live, all these plants used to live over there on wood so that they didn't flood. All of these plants, as many of them as I can, need to get into the ground. So that is my to-do project. I was hoping to have them done before summer, but that clearly hasn't worked. Okay, let's look at this garden bed here. Can you see my huge casualty? So that was from that wind the other night. It was unbelievably windy. I do have the two pieces that come off. This urn is actually a sentimental piece, so that's what really, really hurts, because it is a sentimental thing. If it wasn't sentimental, I'd just replace it. But we love the urn. We love the pattern on the front of it, and it was an engagement gift, so we really want to look at trying to repair it if we can, because I know you can't get that piece anymore. I've already looked. So but anyway, the garden bed here, I have installed just some little solar lights. I don't have power down here, so I've just installed some solar lights. We have our strawberry patch, and I also have some dwarf peach trees. The dwarf peach trees are an absolutely lovely addition. I have 1, 2, and another one on the other side, which I'll show you. And then around all sides of the urn, I did have a different plant, a gaura, but I've actually just replaced it with these tiny little lavenders. And they are looking really, really great. I'm really, really happy with them. So they're just a beautiful little lavender bush. I like symmetry, if you can't already tell. So we have our garden light over night time. This lights up. You can see the beautiful little cherry blossom pattern on it. At our old house, we did actually use it as a garden water feature, and it was beautiful, but as I said, I don't have power down here, so I'm just backing up into the tunnel so you can see that was clearly the focus of the garden, and it's such an important element in the garden. I'm so bummed, so I'm going to see if we can fix it. It'll never look 100%, but you know, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I do have another dwarf peach tree, which was gifted to us. All 3 of them were gifted to us, which is fantastic. Thank you very much. And I have some asparagus plants. We absolutely love asparagus plants. Now I have, sorry for Eugene, I have transplanted this here from another part of the garden, and it's a little bit out of sync with the seasons. I don't think I should have moved it at the right time, but that's okay. We'll give it time to recover. I have a strange piece of wood here. That's actually for my garden hose, so that I don't knock out the lights and put it all over the gardens. But you can see here, the strawberries are going fantastic at the moment. We had birds recently come and steal all the strawberries, and they've now sort of left the area, so we're getting strawberries again, which is fantastic. And we're nearly finished, so over here I will have another garden bed going that direction. The table will move. I will have another garden bed going that direction, so I'll have 1, 2, 3 garden beds in that area. Obviously on the table at the moment I have all those pots that I was showing you that need to, they're landscaping pots, but they're also, landscaping plants, but they're also, some of them just need to, I've got tomato seedlings right there, they need to get into the garden. But this one here, I have some dahlias. So they're just mini dahlias that I have planted. This is obviously the newest garden bed that I've just done. Haven't even painted it yet. But I have some dahlias. I'm going to put some zinnias on the corners here. But I picked up some mega punnets of dahlia seedlings and I really wanted to give them a go and see what varieties come and if I love them. The center section here I have reserved, I have an orange tree which is currently back in a rose garden, which shouldn't be there. I don't think I showed you that. That was great. Anyway, that needs to be transplanted into here. So I'm just sort of marking that spot that I need to move that. It's actually gone through its pot and has rooted into the ground. So I'm waiting for the fruit on it to mature before I actually transplant it, which will be in the winter. Over here I have more self-sown cosmos. I have this garden here which has a mandarin tree which is currently being overrun by cosmos and scabiosa. I have a plane going over, or a helicopter, just one moment. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, I have scabiosa growing, which is a new to me plant. I grew this from seed and I haven't grown it before. Look, this is one of our little native bees. These are native stingless bees. They won't hurt you. At first we thought they were flies when we moved up here because there is thousands of them. But these little guys are so cute. And it's good to know they like the scabiosa. So yes, so I have scabiosa growing first time this year. I had some poppies, however they're done. I do have our little bee bath down the bottom there. But apart from that, this is just a mass of cosmos. I had them here last year. My husband went into hospital when they were dying, so all the seeds were sown into the ground. And I have been picking them out for months, and I just got to the point where I was like, you know what, we'll let them grow in the areas they want to grow. So they're growing in this area here. They're growing self-sown in this area here. And some more up that direction as well. So yes, I need to finish this area here. And then the last garden bed I have a mulberry plant, which when I worked out where I wanted to put it, it was fruiting. So I need to actually get that into the ground there. Then I have, it was beautiful. This was my sweet pea garden. So I had a teepee of beautiful coloured sweet peas. And the wall behind it was just white sweet peas. They obviously don't like heat, and we've just had 4-day heat waves, so yeah. But also in this garden bed I have some snapdragons which I grew from seed, and look, this is my favourite colour. Absolutely gorgeous. So I have snapdragons, I have this salvia which is just exploding. I have cut on this so many times to use in flower arrangements and it's lovely. I did put some more dahlias in just as a next round of flowers because I know all these sweet peas will come out very shortly. I have some lovely weeds for you all to look at it along the very back there. But I also have some star jasmine. My plan is to grow star jasmine up this fence line. I tried out the black plastic behind the fence just to basically give the sweet peas something to climb up because they were just disappearing beyond the fence. Not loving it. I need another plan because it's just not working for me. But the sweet peas are just about done. Look, everything fell over in that storm the other day. We've had 2 hailstorms as well just recently. It's really taken its toll on the garden. So we just have garden light here. The purple tube you can see is actually grey water. So we have grey water running from our house down here to the garden. So grey water is perfectly safe to use on flower garden beds, but you don't want to use it on veggie or fruit garden beds. You can use it on trees, but not something that's going to go into your mouth. It's not safe. So I have the beautiful salvias either side, some little petunias which I just picked up. I had the TP looking absolutely gorgeous till the wind hit it. And have some bunny tails, which I like to grow these for arrangements, but I also like to grow them for drying. So I have a few flowers that I've been drying, so I think I might have to get out and harvest these soon. I have some more dahlias popping up. Another cosmos, look at that, what a surprise. And believe it or not, there's actually 5 star jasmine plants along this border here, which probably are suffocating right now, so I need to sort that out. And another dwarf mulberry tree. So this one actually looks really, really good. We did harvest some mulberries off this, however they weren't, my husband loves mulberries, but the flavour wasn't fantastic. So I believe I did a little bit of research and I need to put some more manure on them to enhance the flavour. So I'll be doing that next time. And then we have my ugly looking utility area, my crazy greenhouse, which is held together with 100-mile-an-hour tape because of our winds. Our ladies are out. It's little girl's day out today. There's Dixie. They all have names. Oh, this is Eugene. So this is Eugene that was crowing earlier. Hey buddy. Isn't he gorgeous? So he's a silky bantam. He's beautiful. Back at the garden gate. So that is my garden in its entirety. It is absolutely a gorgeous area. I love pottering around in here. I get so much joy out of it when I can get down here. And we do have another 5 acres of property apart from this, which we are slowly landscaping. So we are slowly landscaping the rest of the property. It will be more low maintenance and Australian plants and coastal. So we are technically, even though we're on a mountain, we are technically classed as coastal because as the crow flies, we are not far from the ocean. So we will be planting a lot of coastal Australian plants in the rest of our garden, well, the rest of the property to be honest, just because they adapt so much better to the climate. The garden itself, here within this fence line, will actually be our high maintenance area. The rest of it we are trying to do low maintenance and ones that really just suit our climate, because I'm usually just the only gardener and yeah, there's only so much time a person can have, and I'd rather turn it into flower and fruit production than just maintaining a lot of hedging. So I am looking forward to doing more landscaping outside the property, but it's just bit by bit. I will have to do a property tour for you very shortly and update you on what's been going on. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed our garden tour. The December garden is usually a lot drier than this, so it's lovely to see everything so green and lush still. We've been lucky, really we have been lucky, apart from that 4-day heat wave, which, you know, we get temperatures in the high 30s to the low 40s. That's summer for us. They're expecting a long hot summer. So we have obviously been working on water storage, how much water we can store, and using grey water down in the garden so that, you know, we actually have enough water to go around. So I am looking forward to summer. I am looking forward to harvesting more from the garden. Tomato season, bring it on. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.